Why do you run around in fancy mage clothes?
Because I like them?
You're barely even wearing a shirt.
You fight Anton with a bare midriff.
Everything all right?
We're fine. Just trading fashion tips. So what I wear is a problem for you?
It's not. It's just... Why dress like that? Are you trying to make your mother happy?
I don't know what your problem is here, Tosh, but you're out of line.
Relax, Rook. I'm a big girl. Tosh, you mentioned me trying to make my mother happy. What's that have to do with how I dress?
It's just something my mother said the other day. That I act more like a man than a woman.
And you feel like you should wear dresses to make her happy?
No. Can you imagine me in a dress? I'd look stupider than I'd look stupid.
Tosh, if you don't want to talk about this.
No, it matters. And Nev... Sorry I was an asshole.
No harm done. Your mother didn't just make you angry. Something she said got its hooks into you. Why?
It feels... right. When she says I act more like a man. It feels... right. Why does it feel right?
Tosh, do you like being a woman?
Nobody likes being a woman.
Ah.
This is stupid. Forget I said anything.
Forget it or dig into it, whatever you have to do. But if our dragon hunter isn't at her best, people will die.
Yeah, I'll figure out my crap. Whatever it is.
Some of my friends in Minrathous talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin. As a man, as a woman. I could see if they'd like to talk. Maybe what they say fits how you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks. You do look really pretty.
Oh?
To look at, I'd smudge your makeup.
Thanks for letting me down gently.
Lucanus? Are you in here brooding?
I'm fine.
That's not a no.
I had her. She should have never gotten away from me. This was our contract, Rook. I don't fail my contracts.
Let's call it what it was. Weishaupt was a disaster.
I thought I still had this. Whatever else I am, I'm a professional. After the ossuary, I thought at least I could still take out a target. I need to work.
Focus on what you do best. Hitting your mark when they least expect it. Gillenane will remember that scratch you gave her.
For all the good it did.
We didn't know what they were really capable of before. Now we do. We'll be ready next time.
I was distracted. That cannot happen again. I need to get my head on straight.
Whatever you need to do.
Have you been to talk to the others? Davrin, especially. I think everyone might have things to deal with now. I should check in with the crows. Whatever the word is, I'll let you know. There's nothing like work to focus the mind. Nev, that coffee in the kitchen, you made it?
Keen eye.
Did you boil it? If so, why?
I'm not picky. I got a cup and it does the job. That's all I ask.
I don't know where to go with this.
I think your coffee hurt his feelings.
Apologies to you and the beans.
That could only hurt me if I drank it.
So what's the coffee for?
What isn't it for? The Venatori used the dragon attack for a power grab. Now they treat Docktown like their personal playground. I've heard more cries for help than I can count. And now the Threads have reached out.
The Minrathous crime syndicate.
Smuggling, extortion, protection rackets. The Threads do it all. They stay out of slavery and they hate Venatori. Enough to keep picking fights. My contact in the Threads, Alec, wants to talk. He doesn't reach out for nothing.
So we share a common enemy with the crime syndicate. Could be useful.
Well, I'm glad Docktown's interesting when it's useful.
It needs our help either way.
True enough.
If you need more coffee, I'll make it.
Well now, is that sweet or trying to save me from myself?
Let's call it both.
Davrin? Davrin, about Weishaupt. One less archdemon in the world. At least you made them pay.
It wasn't enough. That's Renaud. Malmont. Anya. We used to argue. Who would be the one to take an archdemon down? Who'd die so that others could live? Not sure any of us believed it'd actually happen.
When the moment came, you did the Wardens proud.
Did I? Because I'm still here. They're not.
Beating yourself up about it's not gonna help. It wasn't your day to go. Move on.
But it should have been my day. A Grey Warden kills an archdemon, they die. That's how it works.
Who knows what happened? Maybe the gods changed things and the old rules don't apply. Why is being alive a problem?
Because I didn't expect to be here. Grey Wardens have an expiration. It pushed me.
There's more fight to go.
And if we manage to pull that off?
You'll do what you do best. Hunt monsters.
Plenty of people can do that. I'm talking purpose. I feel like a blade sharpened all these years to confront the worst darkness in the world. And my blade struck true at Weishaupt. What now?
Well, you'll raise a San to create a world where the light outshines the darkness.
Yeah? Well, let me tell you. That will require a lot more gingerwort truffles.
I don't want to hear any more talk about dying, okay?
Fair enough.
He's counting on you.
Guess we're stuck with each other, boy. No getting rid of me now. Someday I might actually know what that means.
While you sort that out, maybe you and Akanis can try to bury the hatchet.
Yeah,
He had a rough time of it too.
I know. That was an incredible shot he took at Gillinane.
Then tell him that. 'Cause fighting each other won't help us defeat the gods.
But we've got help. The Wardens, Shadow Dragons, Crows, Veil Jumpers, we're all in this together.
We are. But they've all got their own problems. If we want their help, we have to help them first.
Is that a plan I hear forming?
I think it could be. Thanks, Davrin.
fall of Weishaupt reverberated across the Fade, as did the fall of an archdemon. But unless I am mistaken, both Elganan and Gillenane yet stand.
We took down Gillenane's archdemon, but we weren't able to kill her.
And how are you doing?
I watched a lot of Wardens die while Gillenane didn't. How do you think I'm doing?
You saw the Venatori seize control of Minrathous. What makes Weishaupt harder to bear?
Minrathous fell to the Venatori because I was driving off the Blighted Dragon in Treviso. I couldn't be in two places at once. But at Weishaupt, we got there in time. The Archdemon was down. I had a Dragon Hunter, a mage-killing assassin, and the Grey Wardens. And even then, we couldn't kill Gillenane.
Rook, I led a rebellion against Elganan for 100 of your lifetimes. I have been where you now stand. Do you know how many times I had to order my rebels to retreat when we were outmatched in raw power? You rendered Gillenane mortal and escaped with your lives. The sting of wishing you had done more will push you to improve. But Weishaupt was a victory, and your team will see your passion, even if you must conceal the extent of your own pain. How are your companions, after what happened?
They have what it takes to stop the gods. I just need to get them to believe it.
Indeed. They must know beyond any doubt that you believe in them. You cannot stand against Elganan and Gillenane with logic. Those motivated by greed or self-interest will change alliances, but those who serve you with passion and loyalty will follow wherever you lead, even to their deaths if necessary.
I knew I might have to make a call like that when Varric put me in charge.
A good leader never makes such a decision lightly. But when the time comes, it is better to be prepared. And perhaps it will not come to that. The stronger your team, the more chances you will have to avoid such a decision.
I'll keep that in mind. Do you have any suggestions on our next move against the gods?
If you oppose Elganan and Gillenane's minions, you will get your opportunity.
You think one of the Antam or Venatori commanders will help us find the gods?
Possibly. But more importantly, you will aggravate them. You rendered Gillenane mortal at Weishaupt. It is an embarrassment, an insult, neither she nor Elganan can ignore. If you continue to disrupt their plans, you will not need to track them down. They will come to you.
And then we get some payback for Weishaupt.
As long as you are ready when the opportunity comes. One final warning. You have survived a confrontation with Gillenane, which few still live to claim. But her power pales in comparison to Elganan's. If he takes the field himself, remember, in a fight such as ours, escaping to fight another day is a victory.
Ah, Rook. Care to join me on a visit home?
Time for the old grave rituals?
Yes, the memorial gardens need tending. It should be peaceful and quite undisturbed. You'd be most welcome company.
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evanurus seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Though I wish I could believe you, I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evanurus and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
Did Mythal call Solus love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply. The way they express things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Oh, they were absolutely doing it.
Being with someone you're rebelling against? Doesn't sound like Solus.
He also met her in secret and talked about how they could run off together.
It sounded so tragic and romantic.
Oh, wait. Never mind. That does sound like him.
So the Dreadwolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other god using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor. Not sure it matters.
We're deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made of something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
If there's one thing Solus loves, it's telling people they were wrong. And here, he's got the perfect opportunity. Oh, Mythal, you thought your fellow gods were so great? If only you were as smart as me.
He got her attention. She definitely seemed angry at the end.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solus says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solus wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon. Nice. The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Okay, sorry. Point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Rook, as a fellow watcher, you know there are ways.
I'm not saying she couldn't help from beyond the grave. I'm just asking how.
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
Solus goes to Mythal, the one semi-reasonable elven god, for help, and the other gods kill her for it. I imagine the Dread Wolf's rebellion heated up significantly after that.
Right. And Mythal wasn't there to keep the other gods in check anymore.
Well, it's not just that she died.
What do you mean, Tosh?
It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power!
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mythal, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
So he locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elganon and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the Veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the Veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Honestly, it's a little terrifying. I've studied the Fade for years with the Watchers. The idea that the Veil, a fundamental part of our world, was an accident as Solus sprang his trap.
Astonishing. How little we truly know.
And a good reminder not to start spells you don't know how to finish.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solus trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
It's just... the Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it. The elves did. The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Did we?
The Maker was never my faith, Lace, but I don't think you have to give it up.
But what they taught us was just wrong. What if the Maker just doesn't exist?
The Chant of Light might be wrong, but it's been made and changed by people over 1,000 years.
There was a whole verse about an elf named Shartan, and the Chantry just cut it out.
So maybe the Golden City was meant as a metaphor. Or maybe it was added because of politics. That might change the history, but it doesn't have to change your whole faith.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The Elven Gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah.
Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, there's talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
The lyrium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solus, to withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganan. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
What?
This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... what?
All right. So elves are sort of spirits. What do we do with that?
To be clear, this memory only shows that the first elves originated from spirits. Belara, you and Davrin are no more spirits than anyone else conceived naturally.
Conceived naturally? Guess I'll go ask my mother.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
I don't think people will care right now. We've got evil gods trying to destroy the world.
Evil elven blighted gods. Don't forget.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solus himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solus didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mathal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solus was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
They were so happy about gaining the lyrium's power that they didn't notice it came from the Titans.
Or didn't care.
The first memory we saw with Elganan seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Those power-hungry bastards.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solus regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mithal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Hey, you heard of the Hall of Valor? It's a fighting arena with the lords.
Interesting.
Just tell me when you're ready. You said we were gonna slay dragons. That wasn't a dragon. Dragons have one head. Don't get me wrong, I can do it. It's just messed up.
Any luck tracking down your mystery friend?
Orzammar has requested I stop harassing their citizens with my talk of dwarven magic.
Who cares what they say? That shouldn't stop you.
I don't have a choice. At least I know I'm not gonna find answers in Orzammar.
So, what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Huh?
There is another great Tig, the original capital of the dwarves, Kalsharok. It was lost during the First Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're closer to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kalsharok doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
I'm curious about Kalsharok's isolation.
The dwarves took heavy losses during the First Blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the deep roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kalsharok was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
They had to. Lose a Tig or lose everyone.
Children, families. It's unforgivable.
Sometimes people have to do unforgivable things.
You've heard, haven't you, that the Kalsharok dwarves were forced to change in order to survive. No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask. How do we get in touch with these Kalsharok dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
Okay, that's enough. Quiet now. Fine. Who wants a treat?
You know, bribery just encourages bad behavior.
It's only a bribe if I had a treat.
Ah, ends justify the means.
A little white lie to quell the riot.
Are you sure it's little to them? And there's your answer.
Come on, guys, give me a break. Rook?
What are we all saying?
Well, it isn't be quiet.
Sorry, it's all I've got.
Wait, you can't just leave me with the...
Good luck with that.